like a drug, you love sympathy. Genuine deficit, people watch you bleed. Make it up, sell your drugs, make the tragedy. Yeah, yeah. Slow motion crash, foot on the gas. Nobody safe. God, what a mess. Not falling for it, but I can't look away. Someone's gotta say it. Fuck you and your fucking pity party. I'm not invited, I don't ever wanna pay. Not sorry that I'm not the way you want me. So fuck you and fuck your pity party. Go ahead, let me be the enemy. I got no time for all your fake bitch energy. Not sorry that I'm not the way you want me. So fuck you and fuck your pity party. Waking up from the cold on my hands and knees. Think you're poison the punch, I'm just trying to leave. Wish you luck keeping up with your sanity. Yeah, yeah. Slow motion crash, foot on the gas. Nobody safe. Yeah, all your friends know how this ends. Can't look away. Someone's gotta say it. Fuck you and your fucking pity party. I'm not invited and I don't ever wanna pay. Not sorry that I'm not the way you want me. So fuck you and fuck your pity party. Go ahead, let me be the enemy. I got no time for all your fake bitch energy. Not sorry that I'm not the way you want me. So fuck you and fuck your pity party. Fuck you and your fucking pity party. I'm not invited and I don't ever wanna pay. Not sorry that I'm not the way you want me. So fuck you. Go ahead, let me be the enemy. I got no time for all your fake bitch energy. Not sorry that I'm not the way you want me. I'm leaving, so fuck your pity party.
All right. Hello. So, I figured I'd just come on here and record this and see where it goes. Because, earlier in the day, I had so much to say and I was just so ready to go. And then instead of coming on here and, ranting and raving or whatever, I decided to go work out instead. And I think that was a good decision. However, I'm tired now, but I'm tired and I'm in this place that I hate about going to the gym because, for me, I need that energy. And caffeine either doesn't touch me, like I could drink a Bang energy drink and go to sleep. But there's something about those pre-workout mixes that makes, let me tell you, there's like a very fine line between giving me energy and making me feel sick. So I am at that point where my body is tired, but I'm I'm wired. And I hate this feeling so much. But, that's my fault for putting too much of it in. So, here we are. And usually you just have to ride it through. But it's always unpleasant to feel like your heart's beating out of your chest. Usually I reserve that for my anxiety. But yeah. So while we are, just getting started here, make sure to hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you have not already done so. And yeah, so I wanted to talk about a couple things. I want to start off by saying though, is that when it comes to, as most of you know, there is a lot for me to address and unpack because there's a lot, and a lot of it I haven't watched yet. I need to sort through what's what and to best be able to address things. So just be patient with me because this is going to be a couple things. This is not just going to be oh, excuse me. This is not going to be just a one and done. This is not going to be me coming on here once and being able to get this all out there. So this is going to end up being a couple times. So in this particular one, I'm just going to be addressing a few things, and please, it doesn't matter if I ask or not, but it's I'm aware of the stuff that I need to address. So it's coming. Okay, like I have a huge list of it. So I'm just gonna go with whatever comes to mind first, the stuff that I can easily say and talk about. You guys know what I'm trying to say, hopefully. Um, yeah, because like I really haven't looked at some of it because at first I was letting it bother me, and I'm like, then I think about it, and it's like, what the people who are saying stuff, the people who are so outraged, the people who are upset, with the exception of the like two or three people that have every right to be upset with me, aside from them, who by the way are not the ones talking shit about me on here. They're not doing that. That's not them. So nobody in the comment sections that I've seen or have been sent to me, are any of these people like, should their opinion hold value to me? And here's why. Because if you want to say that, like, oh my God, I'm so upset that B did the X, Y, or Z or whatever, but you support somebody who's done 10 billion times worse than me, like, if you want to put all of us creators in like a bar graph or a pie chart or whatever, and you want to gauge the amount of destruction and just toxicity that they've brought here, I assure you that my bar would still be lower by a significant margin than the people that they support. So the fact that they're like, upset that, the surprise, I'm not perfect, surprise, I make mistakes, surprise, I do shit I really I regret and I shouldn't have done, surprise, I get caught up in stuff, and YouTube. I'm telling you, if you're not a creator on here, then maybe you don't know, but the best way I can put it is like, so it's easy to get caught up in stuff, and it's easy to, for me personally, if I'm friendly with somebody, I I, I that's for this is gonna be for a different video because I'll explain like the context of some stuff, because it's not being portrayed the way that it needs to be. Not saying I am innocent, not nope. Because unlike some of these other people, though, I'm not above coming on here and saying I made a mistake. I'm not above that. I'm not going to blame it on anybody else. I'm not going to point the finger. If I didn't do it, then I'm not going to say I did it. Fuck that. And there's plenty of things that have been said, and I'm going to address some of those things in particular because that's the easiest stuff for me to address, because I don't have any like emotional attachment to it, because I didn't fucking do it. And some of you guys are just like, it's just insanity. I mean, I really shouldn't have even looked last night, but I did, and it's like, these people are like, are trying to make something out of where there's nothing. Um, I'm not really sure what you're trying to prove or find or whatever. And I'm looking at that, and I'm like, I'm reading some of these comments under the video that Granny's Watching did about me, like the live, and I'm reading it. And I'm like, what the fuck are these people talking about? Like, I have literally have no clue. I mean, you guys are gonna go. Granny's looking through her texts to see if I don't even know anybody named Luke, so I don't know what that is. But go ahead and do whatever you need to do. I mean, I was like, excuse me. I was like, I had to keep looking at it because I thought like, I had taken my sleeping meds, so I was like, I kept looking back at it. I'm like, I surely I'm not reading this correctly. But if you guys want to go and if that makes you feel important and gives you something to do, fine, that's great. I've never spoken to New Account Who This. I don't even know who that is. So whatever that is with all of that, I have no idea. I don't even know who that is. That as far as I know, that is who they are. Like that's the name I know them as, and I have no idea who's behind that account. Somebody texted me and said that somebody thought it was me. It's not me. I told you guys the only other account that I have, and I use it mostly to bring a smile to somebody's face and laugh. So like and I never even say anything. I really rarely use it. I have it because I thought it was funny because I got like locked out of this one and I made it, and then I changed it to because the name of it was an old customer that I had, the last name anyway. I changed the first name because I obviously wasn't going to use like a real person's name, but it was a customer when I worked at CVS through college. Her last name was Fangboner, and I like could not, like I can't, so I have an alt. The only alt I have is Diane Fangboner. So or or else that person is around doing something. I mean, I am not connected to it in any way, shape, or form. But again, go ahead and dig and look and do whatever. That's fine. There's nothing you're gonna find. Um, and I did see some other stuff mentioned in there where I'm gonna disprove some of that right now, because I can, and primarily the fact that it's being said, and I don't understand why people are so obsessed with this, and I feel stupid having these words leave my own damn mouth, but I don't live with my parents. I'm not sure why, like, some people, like, stop trying to make B lives with her parents happen, because I don't live with my parents. Like, and I'm gonna prove that right now. Hold on. Where did I put that? Crap. Hold on, guys. Oh, okay. I got my water here. I'm actually laying in my bed right now, so I never ever do this from my bed. I'm usually on the couch or at my desk, but I'm on my bed, so I have to get up. So if my voice sounds different, it's probably because I'm laying down because I'm sore. But yeah, so I mean, it was like, oh, people are like, oh, I'm so disappointed all this time. I just thought that, she was there with her animals or whatever. First of all, do you think there's any way in hell my parents would let me have this many animals in their house? I mean, clearly you've never met my parents. Clearly you've never met my mother. There is no way in hell that I would be allowed to have as many animals as I do in my house. Now, not to mention, I've shown plenty of pictures from the inside of my house, such as, there's Traveler there, and then this is my favorite picture of him right here. The point I'm trying to make by showing you these is that my family is Jewish. So do you really think I would have a Christmas tree at my parents' house, living at my parents'? No, I don't. My parents are Jewish. They do not have a Christmas tree. We have never had a Christmas tree there. I have a Christmas tree here because that's how I choose to do things in my own life, because this is my life. I'm 34 years old. I don't need to depend on that. But I'm also going to show you guys something, and I hope I blocked enough out of this. And it's small, so I'm going to read it. But you'll clearly see that this is me on Instagram. And I'm not even letting you guys see a picture of the house or anything like that because I don't trust anybody. But so you can clearly see up here, this is me. Anybody who knows me on Instagram, that's my picture. And I blocked out all the rest of it in the house and whatever. So this post, hold on, let me get rid of this banner for a second. It doesn't say. It's from 2017. So what it says is, inspection for the new house today. Nervous, nervous, nervous. To even get a house in the neighborhood it's in for the price is a miracle. But I really lucked out in terms of circumstances. The home is really new compared to all the homes near it, built in the 1960s. And it has only had one owner who died recently, and her kids are just trying to sell it ASAP. Saving money pays off, people, and a mortgage is so much less than what I was paying in rent. Plus, I have quite a bit of financial help to make this happen. I'm truly blessed. Let's hope this post doesn't jinx it. So as you can see here, I am talking about purchasing a home, which that is my home now. And, I mean, I have a significant amount of help with that. I did you have to put down a bunch of money to get a house. I mean, you have a mortgage payment, but you do need to put down a down payment, and it's not like, so fortunate. And actually at that time I wasn't working because I was getting over my spine injury. And yeah, so my family was kind enough to help with that kind of thing. Now, that's not to say that they pay my bills now, because they don't. They most certainly do not, and it's not their responsibility to either. But at the time, it was important. My parents don't want me living with them, okay? That they don't. They do not want us with them. That is not what they want. They love us, but they're enjoying their life as, I guess, empty nesters, I think they're just enjoying their life right now. And I'm also really cluttered, and my mom is like a ridiculous neat freak. She can't live with me. She'd lose her mind. I was there after I got hurt because I couldn't take care of myself because I was literally unable to walk. So yeah, that's why I lived with my parents for a little bit. And it just so happened that I used that time to get my stuff together, my life together. Because I figured, I'm not working anymore. At that point, it was just a leave of absence. I ended up leaving the job, but because I can't do it, I couldn't go back to doing retail, um, in management because like I definitely was a workhorse. I mean, I really wasn't much of a show pony. So, I did all like the grunt work. So, and I just can't do that with my back. But I did, whatever. I'm not giving you guys information about my life but the point is that, I was living there but I figured if I wasn't working, I might as well, address the other issues that I had while I was able to hit that pause button on life. Because how often do you get that opportunity to hit the pause button? Not many. So I figured I'd be an idiot to pass up on that. And that's what I did. So yeah, as you can see here, and then there's another post that I'm showing. Hold on. So there's another one from my Instagram. As you can see, this is clearly me up at the top. And this is from October 30th, 2018. My first Halloween as a homeowner on a very busy street. I got this. Spoiler alert, I had nobody show up. Like, they all go up to the neighborhood that's like across the street for me, really. And it has like, much bigger houses. I'm on like the borderline of a not so nice neighborhood. But yeah, I ended up with all of that candy. All for myself. Where is that table? I don't even know where that table is now. Huh. Now I'm curious where that table is. Because my treadmill's in that room now. I don't know. But yeah, so I wanted to show people that. I do not live with my parents, so I'm not really sure why that's being perpetuated. Like, it's not my fault that you live with your parents. I'm not shaming you for it. You do you, right? But like, it's not some I don't understand why people are so obsessed with that. We're trying to deflect that onto other people. Like, okay, I know that you want very much for me to live with them, but I mean that's fine. But also, I wanted to show a message that I had gotten, and this is just one of a few. I didn't have time to upload all of them, but I will. Where is it? Is it this one? Yes. So, I've been getting a couple comments like this. So this is on one of my posts, and this person, Wild Ponies, I'm terrified of horses. I think horses are like ridiculous. I know that like you're either a horse person or you're not. Like, you're either one of those little girls that always wanted a pony, or you're the ones that like was terrified of them. And I was the latter. But I think it's time someone wrote your daddy before you embarrass the family. Okay. And that's just one of a few that I've gotten that are out of the similar vein. So I'm not really sure what I'm doing that's embarrassing to my family. I'd love it if somebody would tell me what I'm doing that's so embarrassing, and I challenge you to show me what I'm doing that's so embarrassing. I assure you, my family is not embarrassed by what I do on here. My parents see what I do on here. They watch my videos. It horrifies me sometimes because as I've said this 1,000 times, my parents are of the mindset that, the internet is not somewhere that, you should always have it in the back of your mind what a potential employer would see. And I've had to tell them this isn't under my name. So like, but I'm not afraid of that. Like, times have changed and things are different. And I don't do anything that's like I said, if you're looking at a bar graph, I mean, I think it's just great that the people that support people who have done 1,000, you want to get mad at me because you find out that like I'm not perfect. Well, spoiler alert, surprise, the person that you support most is like 10 times worse and has done the same shit. The same shit, but worse. But okay. I'm the problem. Right. Okay. That makes perfect sense. I'm not sure why I'm expected to be perfect. If she wants to go there, I mean, we can go there with that. You want me to show examples of you doing the same damn thing of, speculating about things behind the scenes? It's not really, the only problem is like it being used as a weapon, right? People talk between friends and they say things. It doesn't become a problem until somebody brings it to YouTube, which is what you did. right? So there's that. But there's nothing I honestly like at this point, like I didn't even think about that. But that's for another video, and it's coming because I don't want it to be involved with this particular video because I want to actually do that one justice because the like I said, like the small handful of people that I owe an apology to, and not for what's being said either. Like people need to understand. I'll show you guys. I'm not saying I'm innocent though, because I'm not. Like I made a mistake. I definitely did. And um, but if you saw the context, you'll understand more. It still doesn't make it right, regardless of context. It still doesn't make it right. So I don't want people to think it's like a justification, but like I am going to show that anyways. But the point is that I was wrong, and I wish I could tell you why. I do dumb shit all the time. I'm impulsive, and sometimes I get caught up in stuff, and I do stuff that I know I shouldn't, or I do stuff that I think is fine at the time, or I do things that given what my motivations are at the time, feels okay. But in hindsight, I'm like, that wasn't okay. And I don't know why I do that. And anybody, I mean, I know it's a drama community. So like people are going to get outraged about that stuff on here. I get that. Because people like to come on here and forget about their own problems and whatnot. But people need to also recognize that I'm sure they've done the same thing. I am sure they have. So like, speculating about what somebody has or hasn't done or stuff that or whatever, like, if you want to go there, I mean, I can show all the times other people have speculated about things that, would, but see, the difference is though, I don't want to bring that here because all that does is hurt the person that it's about. It hurts that person more than the person that said it, like it doesn't, my feelings don't matter here. Like they don't. That's not the point. The point, like, yeah, so I'm not going to do that. I want to, but out of respect for the people that it's about, because some of the stuff is like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But what I did want to talk about a little bit is the whole Dorothy situation. And guys, I'm telling you, when I tell you people here are like vultures, they really are. So Dorothy did a live last Saturday, I think, where all of a sudden somebody sent me that my name was in the title of it, and I had sent her an apology because I thought it was the right thing to do, and I've been unhappy with some of the stuff that I've done on YouTube, especially over the summer, for a while, and I had noticed that YouTube had kind of I was questioning like why I did some of the stuff that I did, and I'm going to go into that in a little later, because I do want to talk about that because I think it's important. So I had written her an apology, not because I actually didn't even expect her to accept. I'm not even joking, guys. I literally expected her to. I actually expected her to do exactly what this person came to tell me that she was doing, which wasn't actually true. So, points to Dorothy because she could have done that and she didn't. So, but here's the thing. I actually expected that. In the back of my mind, I was like, this is going to show up on YouTube. And I felt bad. I was like, she'd have every right not to accept my apology or whatever. And it was for my own personal reasons, which I'll also explain a little bit about. But somebody immediately emailed me and showed me a screenshot of my name in that title and said that she was dragging me and using my apology as a weapon. And I want just so people like don't start to get all like whatever. She didn't do that. That was a lie. Dorothy did not do that. So, but at the time, it had been such a long day with me being dragged and all of that stuff and all of that nonsense, and I couldn't take any more of it. I just couldn't. Like I was at a point, and not because it was happening. What I was upset about wasn't even about what was being said about me. It's that contrary to how it might seem, contrary how this situation makes it seem, I don't like hurting people. And I don't like being the reason that somebody is feeling any sort of bad way. I don't like it. Um, especially when I don't know how to fix it because I can't. And that's what I was upset about. Um, because whatever, like people can say whatever they want about me. You want to drag me, you want to threaten to call my family, you want to threaten to go real life on me. Go ahead. Dox me. Do whatever you want. I already know you're passing around my docs behind the scenes. So, have at it. Because I'm just curious. I mean, what you're proving, because I know what the argument is. It's that my legal address is my parents. Yeah, it is. It is. Because when I came back to Rhode Island, my parents are really by the book and really ethical. So like everything has to be done by the book or it's fraud as far as with my mother is concerned. And that has to do with like my license and stuff. So I was living in Rhode Island for over a certain period of time. So she insisted that I had to get my license. I had to get a Rhode Island license because I had been in Massachusetts. So I went and did that. And at the time I was living at my parents' house. So I used that. I didn't own a house at that point. So yeah, my legal address is my parents, but when I renew my license, it'll be my new one. Or it won't. I mean, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. It just means that my mail goes there, which I know my mom hates. My mom is constantly bringing bags of mail to my house, and I'm like, you could just throw it out because it's all junk mail. Like anything that I actually want to see delivered to my house, I have it at my own address. Thanks. But yeah. So I know that that's what, because I actually did that. I was just curious as to what came up because I was like curious as to why some certain stuff was being said. So I did look myself up and I did see that. But I mean, what's there to uncover? You saw that, I went to college. You'll see all the professional jobs that I've held since then. And yeah, I've had a really interesting life in terms of my career. I mean, I graduated college in 2010 and I went right into a professional field of social services and it ate me alive. It pushed me I had gotten my life together and it pushed me over an edge to a very dark place. Um, working in group homes with kids will do that. Um, it was an experience. I mean, what are you going to find that I got my associate's degree first and then I got my bachelor's degree because, when I graduated high school, it was up in the air whether college was going to be even realistic to be a thing for me based on stuff that was going on in my life at the time. So I did that first, and then I did really well. I graduated with my associates with a 3.7 GPA. I'm part of an honor society, transferred to a 4-year school, graduated from there, not particularly high standing, because I had a really rough senior year, and I'm in grad school now. I mean, it's listed. I actually didn't know that it listed where you went to college on a background check, but I guess it does. So you'll see that. You'll see my LinkedIn, right? You'll see the fact that I used to work at group homes and stuff like that, right? I haven't updated my LinkedIn since what was it, 2014? Um, because after that, I actually went and I was a manager at Walmart for the rest of the time, and then I worked at a pet store, and I do freelance work and I do some marketing, but I had never really like updated my LinkedIn. I have a LinkedIn associated with my I needed it for one of my classes for grad school. That's about it. What else was on there? I don't even remember. Nothing that I care about. But yeah, I don't live with my parents. I mean, if Wild Ponies over here, Wild Prancing Ponies over here, um, wants to write to my dad, you're welcome to. Go ahead. Go ahead. Doesn't whatever. I can assure you he's not embarrassed by me. In fact, he's quite proud of what I do and how well I'm doing in my life and how I've gotten myself together and put my priorities straight and how hard I work to making a better life for myself, to get myself out of, the place that I've been at and find a way to provide for myself in a meaningful way. I don't want to rely on my parents. Like it is literally last resort for me to do so. Now, have I had to do it recently? Do I have that option if it's absolutely necessary? Yes and no. Yes and no. My parents, if I'm being irresponsible with my money and it's my own damn fault that they're not going to help me. Okay? Like, you have to understand this. My parents will not enable me. It's just not gonna happen. So, usually asking them for help with money goes with a having to sit down and go through my bank statement. So, as you can imagine, that's, like, not really an option that I pick, first or whatever. Plus, um, yeah, whatever. Like, it's stupid. It's stupid. They don't pay they help me with what they do. I mean, or if I absolutely need it, but that's not like my go-to. I try to support myself on my own if I can. Lately it's difficult and I think everybody's feeling that. So I'm not gonna it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. Um but oh, sorry guys. Hopefully after I graduate, I'll be able to get a good paying job. And that's what I'm hoping. I only have 4 classes left, so I'll be graduating in the spring, hopefully. It should be anyway. Um, but yeah, so I'm getting like comments like this, messages and emails like with the same sentiment here. And I'm like, for what? For what? What am I doing that's embarrassing? Can you explain that? I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. Um, comparatively to what other people do, I think that I'm quite tame and quite um genuine. And I mean, I don't see how this whatever. And like I said, the people who are like, "Oh my god, I thought so much better. And just so like, how could we do how could I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm not perfect. I'm sorry that I'm not, who you wanted me to be." And I don't care if I am fine with getting a copyright claim to play that song at the beginning because it's so true. Sorry, I'm not the way you want me. I never denied being anything. I never said that I don't do X, Y. I don't say that. Now, have I, when I first came on here, I said that I wouldn't do a bunch of things or whatever. And most of those I've stuck to, with the exception of like 1 or 2 things. But at the same time, like, this isn't like something that I do all the time. Like, I really don't talk to that many people. And if you knew the context and this, like, I'm going to do that in a different live though. I'm not going to go there. But anyways, with Dorothy, sorry, ADD, brain, like focus, with Dorothy. So I was told that she was dragging me. And because I had had enough, I was already really upset, mostly at myself, but at the situation as well. And because it's a lot to take. I don't care what anybody says. You want to have people dragging you for days and days and days and days, and then like have like a marathon one and have it coming at you from all sides. Yeah, it's unpleasant. It doesn't feel good. It's not fun for anybody. Um, so I I believed it, and I was, that added to me being mad. But like, and I had said it to a few people too, and a lot of them just didn't respond. Some of them were like, "What are you talking about?" um, and they were like, and then I went to bed and I woke up the next day and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna click on it. I'm just gonna click on it. I'm gonna listen. And lo and behold, I actually had no idea that Dorothy had responded to the email, first of all, because I hadn't checked that email in a while. And if had I done that, I would have known that, she wasn't, there was no ill will from her from that. And she absolutely didn't drag me at all. In fact, she was very respectful, and I respect the fact that she believes what she believes about me. Um, respectfully, that's not true. It's not the case. However, I respect the fact that she believes that, and that's fine. What it was important to me was for her to know that I didn't troll as her son. I don't have accounts in people's family members' names. I just don't do that. And it was upsetting to me that she would think that I would do something like that. And I certainly didn't. And that's what I was trying to more care about. The other stuff is whatever. I mean, people can believe what they want to believe about me, and it is what it is. And she can believe that. I just don't want her to believe that I was like maliciously because out to get her. I really was. That's just not true. But what I wrote it is because I was like looking back on my behaviors, guys, and I'm thinking to myself, I get it. It's a drama community, and we go at each other, but I'm about to make myself not look that great, and I'm okay with that. So here's me acknowledging, why does it matter I was looking, I was like, it's weird. And it's borderline, like, why would I spend hours listening to people's old lives trying to find them saying something that's like, that you can put in a clip video? Like, it's weird, right? Like, I don't know why I would do that. And who cares if Dorothy owns her trailer? Who cares? Why am I like, focusing on this? Why am I like, oh, Dorothy didn't go to college or whatever? Like, who cares? I was thinking to myself and I'm like, it's so stupid. Like, first of all, it's not my business. And I especially felt bad about how I behaved, after her medical thing, because regardless of what the truth is there, it's not my business. It's not my business about any of it. And the fact that I reacted the way I did and said some of the things that I did, I was unhappy about. Because as somebody who, you know, has struggled with certain things, I know that, and I'm not saying this is true because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the truth. So, I mean, take Dorothy at her word that it's not like that, and that's fine. Like, I don't know, so I can't say one way or the other. But as somebody who does struggle with certain things, I know that the way I behaved would not be helpful to somebody else who was struggling with that, and I should have known better. And like I said, I've mentioned in some of those videos why I felt the way I did, and a lot of it was because I hate myself in some ways. And that is like one of the things that I hate most about myself. And sometimes I think I project that. Um, and I'm trying to be more aware of that because, God forbid she was in a situation where that was going on. Uh, it wasn't right. I shouldn't. Nothing about what I was doing was helpful or anything. Like, if I don't know. I'm embarrassed that I did that. And I mean, for me, it was like I was angry because I don't know, because Jess was my friend and I don't really want to talk about people's personal messages because really, like, it doesn't matter and I just don't care enough. I'm too tired to care about that. And I did see some people that were like, "Oh, well, if it's said on a phone message, it doesn't exist." Well, no, no, no kidding. Isn't that why I said I didn't come out and say it in the first place? But then, could you have that same phrase go like and ask Jess where her proof of some of the other shit she said about me is? Because there's no proof of that, but you guys believe it. So, like, I'm not understanding the logic here. If that's accepted, then what I did is accepted, and the difference is that I'm telling the truth. And the fact that she reacted the way she did to me saying that should show you that. Because if I was lying, she wouldn't have reacted that way. And I know I'm not lying. In fact, I have some receipts to show you that are not my receipts, but they're ones that, because I said, if she said that's one person, I'm sure she said to others, and lo and behold, I gotta upload the clips here though, the screenshots. You know, I wasn't wrong there. Because just because I don't have it in writing doesn't mean somebody else didn't. And the fact that she responded that way told me everything I needed to know. And I'm sorry, what I meant. Hold on, let me rephrase that because it should have told you guys everything you needed to know. Is what I meant, and that's what I meant. Because like an innocent person doesn't react that way to somebody saying they did something. You know, I'll just leave it at that. But she won't. She doesn't own up to anything that she. Why is it so hard to just say, yeah, I did that? I don't know why I did that. It was fucked up. I shouldn't have done it. Or maybe you don't think it's fucked up. I don't know. I think it's a little fucked up. I wouldn't do it. I don't do that. Then again, I do some fucked up shit too. So like, who am I to? But in the grand scheme of things and comparatively, what I do is nothing, nothing compared to what these other people do. I don't even hold the candle to that. But everybody, they're forgiven, right? Okay. Okay, but I'm horrible. That's fine. If you need me to be the enemy and you want to hold the fact that I made a mistake against me forever, that's good. That's fine. That's fine. I don't owe any of you an apology. The only people I owe an apology for are going to get their own video. I don't owe any of you a damn thing. So that's how I feel about that. Because I hate the fact that some people think that, like, it just, why am I being held to standards that none of you hold anybody else to? It doesn't make any sense. Like, what? I'll say that, despite everything, despite any of the stuff that's happened and the stuff that I've done or not, even a lot of what I do is just me talking to friends and just talking. Like, I'm behind the scenes. I'm not bringing it over to YouTube. The point is that it never was supposed to. That's not what we're here to talk about, though, on this one. I need to remind myself of that because I want to do a video of just that topic because I need to do it justice because that's really the only thing I care about, and not because I want to clear anything up, but because I need to own up to what my part in. And but it's not what people are saying. Like, I need to make that clear. What I did was wrong, but it's not what people are saying, and I'll clarify that. But regardless of it, I'm not gonna pull the, well, yes, but um, I'm gonna own up to it, and I'll show you the context, and if that makes a difference, fine. If not, it's also fine. I assure you, there is no harsher critic of me than me, and I genuinely don't like hurting people, and sometimes I do, and I mean, I can't fix it, so I'll do the best I can. But my goal from after this is I'm just I'm gonna do it the whole, like, because I went to those programs as a teen, so, like, accountability letter style. Here's what I did, here's what I could have done, but I chose to do X. Here's my hope for myself going forward, and here's my hope for other people. We can go through it. I'll communicate it clearly. I'm very good at that when I want to, if I have to. I hate doing it, but like the therapeutic, like, ways to phrase things anyway. But I've just been trying to figure out how to like do that. But the reason I apologize to Dorothy is because I thought it was the right thing to do. I thought that it was horrible the way that I handled all of that. And it's not because I'm looking for anything from her. In fact, I didn't write that with the. I anticipated her to basically throw it in my face and tell me to fuck off, is what I expected. But I can definitely, listening to Dorothy in that live, I mean, it sounds like she's really doing what she needs to do to get her health under control, and taking a step away from YouTube. She sounds like she's doing much better in just with everything, and I am happy for her, and I'm glad, and I appreciate that she didn't do that, because I would have understood if she did. And regardless of what somebody does to me or says about me, it doesn't justify how I respond. And I took it to a level that I shouldn't have, as somebody who should have known better, you know? Um, but I mean, and that's the thing, at least I consider that. At least I consider the fact that me sharing personal messages could harm somebody inadvertently that I'm not trying to harm. And that is really my only hesitation here. Um I I'd have to reach out to Dorothy first, because I don't want to be responsible for perpetuating false information if it's false. I really don't want to do that. I don't. I don't. Um because I learn from my mistakes. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but I try to learn from them, and I know I've seen now how these things can happen, and I don't want to bring that to YouTube, so I probably won't. I mean, or else she doesn't care, in which case fine, but she might. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I just felt bad. I was like, why am I sitting here clipping like everything this woman said? Like I know the word, and it's obsessive. It's weird. Um, and that goes for anybody. I don't want to be a clip channel. I do think it's I just want to delete all my clips or whatever. Like, it's not even that big a deal. And it's like, what are you trying to prove? Talk about what people do on YouTube. Like, but when it comes to like, digging into their personal lives and stuff, um, not digging in, but what I mean is like speculating. You know what I mean? Um, because I've never done anything like that. I've never even so much as Googled people. I don't do that shit. Uh, I know other people do. It's not illegal, so I mean, I just think it's weird. But I also think it's weird to, listen in lives and like, talk about how somebody is contradicting something that when you really look back at it, it's like, but were they? But I wanted to apologize because some of the stuff I said wasn't okay. It just wasn't. Imagine if Dorothy was struggling with what I was saying. Like, I shouldn't have done that. And I feel bad, and I felt that's why I did the apology. It was because I truly have tried over the past couple months to kind of get out of a hole that I had dug myself into. For somebody who I owe no respect, no loyalty, and no anything for, no consideration for at this point. All of that is gone. I will say whatever I need to going forward because I don't care anymore. Like, there is no feelings left. Like, I have no feelings left with that. Like, I am just numb. So, yeah. But I felt bad about how I behaved in some ways over the summer, and I reached out to a few people with apologies, Dorothy being one of them. And, what people don't know is that I wrote that email a while ago, and I had it in my drafts. I didn't send it because I was like, I debated like whether I should or not. I don't know. I was like, I don't know. And I asked some people said send it, some people said don't, some people I mean, they didn't know what it said, but I basically just said I'm thinking about reaching out to Dorothy and apologizing. And some people are like, well, she said quite a bit about you and all that. And I what I say to them though is that okay, like, nobody's expecting me and Dorothy to be like best friends on here. Like I really just needed to say that to her. I wasn't looking for anything in return. And I'm certainly not over like in her chat. I'm not trying to get anything out of it. I don't care about that stuff anymore. Like subscribers, view, whatever. I don't care anymore. If people want to watch my stuff, that's great. If they don't, fine. But I'm not gonna like determine my self worth over likes and views like some people do on here. It is no depiction of failure for me to not grow as a channel when I'm not on here very often. But I'm not going to obsess over it either because this community is just backwards. I know that I'm a worthwhile person. I know who I am. I know what my morals are. I know what I've done that has wavered from those and that I'm upset by. Um, but at this point, it's like, whatever. Like, show whatever you want about me. Do whatever you want. I don't have time for. You're not going to find like there's no big conspiracy plot that I'm involved in about anything like that. I don't even know who some of the people that I'm seeing my name linked to are. I don't even know who they are. Um, but yeah, I know some people are unhappy that I apologize to Dorothy, and to those people, I mean, I'm not going to expect you to be like, nobody's asking you to forgive her. Nobody's asking you to support her or be in her chats or anything. Just like I'm not asking any of her supporters to do the same for me. Um, I know she has people that don't like me, and Dorothy has some people that look out for her. Ariana is one of them. I know she doesn't like me, but she's a good friend to Dorothy, and that's kind of where all that, I'm sure that's where all that stemmed from, and so nobody's expecting them to all of a sudden be friends with me or any of things like that. But I'm grateful that Dorothy accepted my apology because I meant it. I meant it. I have this thing called like a conscience. I have this, guilt is something that's very prominent in my life, and it eats at me. And I have a conscience. And I mean, I'm a terrible liar and terrible grifter and terrible at any of that. I'm not very good at those things. So I don't really feel like I'm on here trying to fool anybody. I just am who I am, and uh, I just I'm not gonna. I've explained the whole like the fact that I put my professional side forward. Now, Granny, I understand that you wouldn't know anything about having a professional side. I understand that. Um, but I do. And I can't come on here just yelling and screaming and being myself. So my default is to behave the way that I was raised to behave. You put your best self forward. Especially when I didn't know what I wanted to do with this channel. I didn't know. I don't know. I've wanted to take this channel in a billion different directions. And at this point, part of me in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm just fucking done. It's pointless. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Like, why are we at the point where this is what we've come to? Like, I don't understand it. You want to talk about me, you want to bring me down, you want to do that, fine, but don't hurt other people in the process. That's not fair. It's not their fault. Hold me accountable, but leave people out of it. Leave the other people out of it. Because I think it's a dirty thing to do. But I realize that it's all that you have. So I understand why that would be something you would use. Because I don't go real life. I don't dox people. I don't stalk people. Or else it's like their videos on YouTube, in which case I guess that could be borderline, like, stalking somebody's videos. I guess that's a little different. But I've never so much as Googled somebody's name. I've never run a background check on anybody. I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't contact people in their personal lives. I don't, make accounts in other people's names. I don't troll people. I don't do anything like that. I just don't have time for it. And if you knew me and you understood how I operate as a human being, you'd know that. Um, but I know that there's nothing else. So I guess that's what we're going with. And, I guess fuck the people that would hurt, right? That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. Y'all gave Jess all sorts of excuses. I did too. When, we're like, well, Lycan was technically the one that put out the journal pages, so Granny didn't do anything wrong. Well, then how is this different? How, except the difference though, Granny, is that you sent it to Lycan saying, put all of it out. I didn't want anything getting put out. I was just talking to somebody. None of it was supposed to come to YouTube until you weaponized it. Now, that doesn't make it right. Doesn't make anything right for me. But come at me. Don't leave other people out of it. But you're just a mean person. You're just, ugh. So if people that think that you're great think that I'm some big, bad, evil villain, then fine. Because this community is so ass backwards, I'm fine with that. I know what I've done and I know what I haven't. And I've never done half the shit that some of the people on here do. And I never would. And I owe no, like I said, I don't owe anybody an apology except for the people that I'll be addressing in my next video. That's it. None of the rest of it. And I'm not going to apologize. Here you guys are taking it like stalking me. In your comments, it couldn't be more clear that you're stalking me. So go ahead and dig. Dig, dig, dig. Go ahead. Yeah, apparently have nothing better to do in your lives. And while on this thought here, I do want to say, I'm not going to mention the names because sometimes I don't know how people feel about me mentioning their names on something like this. But I did want to say that there were two people that commented on my post about how to give Chicory his medicine, who I did not expect um, to comment. And I think that it says a lot about who those people are at their core, that they were willing to put aside, first of all, how anybody else would think about them commenting on my thing, their own feelings about me. They put that aside to help me. In fact, both of them had really good advice that really helped with giving him his medicine. So I don't like using names because I don't know how they feel about it, although I'm sure they probably wouldn't care. But I really do appreciate that. It meant a lot to me, and I was surprised. And it just shows that you should never just assume that somebody is I more than anybody know that sometimes people on YouTube get a little crazy. I myself do, but at my core, I'm a good person, and I think these two people are as well. I think that was pretty clear. So I just wanted to say that. And I'm also grateful that nobody attacked them in my comments because I was worried about that. Because honestly, I would never. I just really appreciate that they tried to help, and it was actually very helpful information. So thank you for that. And my whole thing though is that I debated saying this either because I know that there's a lot of people angry at Natasha, and I get that. I do. Okay, I get it. And I know that there's some people that have a very good reason to be upset up with Natasha. And I also am of the mindset that people can do what they choose is best for them. I don't like putting rules on other people. I don't like saying that other people need to follow. If people think that it's right for them to do what they do, then I'm not arguing with it. I just won't be doing it. And that's, it doesn't mean I can't be friends with that person or whatever, but, and I respect their choices. But for me, I never reported Natasha or anything like that. My goal wasn't ever to get rid of her. I don't want that for anybody. Like that was never my goal. I was more just pointing out the behaviors and stuff. And to be honest, I don't really know. I don't really think mass reporting works. So I don't know. I don't know anything about that stuff. But I never did anything that would encourage something like that. Um but I think what people need to understand is that, and I know people aren't going to like this. I know that people are not going to like this, but clearly YouTube is not capable or willing, or I don't know the word to use, at enforcing their rules and their ban. Like, she is banned from here. She's not supposed to be here. However, she's just going to continue to make accounts. And there's really, until YouTube has the resources or is cares enough to enforce it, that's just how it is. Like, Natasha's not going anywhere. And I really wish people would just leave. And I'm talking also at the people from her side, though. I'm looking right at you when I'm saying this, is I just leave people's accounts alone, right? I don't go after Natasha's. I don't have any intention of doing that. I don't know why we have to get to that point or whatever. And the difference is, though, is that really the reason some of these people are getting tagged on Twitter is because they oppose Natasha. And I'm not saying all. There are some people who have done some things that I can see how it would end up in the result that it did. Not that I agree with it, though, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Is that I can see how it could be presented in a way that would get it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that they did X, Y, or Z. I'm just saying I can see how it could be presented in that way to get a result. But you also have to acknowledge, though, is that Natasha also has done a lot of crappy things, more crap, like, and she has broken terms of service. So, like, I don't know why there's such outrage over somebody saying that she's just not supposed to be here. I'm not actively trying to get her account. I don't really. She's not going anywhere. I think that's pretty damn clear. So, yeah. And I mean, I feel a lot better about a lot of stuff because I've let a lot of it go. You know, I'm not even trying to make money on here anymore. I just don't care. Like it. Honestly, if you do something like that, you kind of box yourself into a corner. And what I come onto YouTube for is connection. Um, I have a lot of social anxiety, and for me, being able to come online and have the people that I do is what matters to me. And when you're a creator, sometimes, especially when you're first starting out and you don't have like a strong sense of self as a creator yet. Like I might know who I am as a person, like I almost just said my full name. No. I know who I am as me. But as a creator, you have to kind of find your footing. And a lot of the times people will put the best version of themselves out or not. I mean, whatever they feel is the right thing for them. And I just it is what it is. I don't want to feel like I have to censor myself because I support somebody, or I don't like the feeling of dread of knowing that the minute I disagree with something that I'm going to get dragged or thrown under the bus or all of that. And I've learned that, I've also learned to really not speak the way I do ever again. Like, I can't apparently trust anybody. So, and that's fine. Then again, uh, I actually did speak about that whole thing, though, in a video back in April or May. So, it wasn't like it wasn't said on here, but it's not what people think. It's bad, but it's not what people think. And it's not what's being, whatever narrative is being constructed here. It's not that, I assure you. I don't even know who some of the, like I said, I don't even know who these people are. I don't know any Lukes. I don't. You know my name. Go look at my Facebook friends. Do I have any Lukes in there? I think I have one, and it's somebody I knew who overdosed. So I mean, he's dead. So that would probably be the only Luke on my friends list. So don't know anybody named Luke. No clue who that is. But that's okay. Like I said, if people want to busy themselves, if it gives them some sense of purpose in their life to try to put together pieces of a puzzle that don't even go together, I mean, they'll probably just blame it on the puzzle being defective, that, they can't shove this puzzle together. If you know, you know. But, no matter how you try to do it, it's going to be a you problem, not a me problem, because there's nothing wrong with the puzzle. You're like, you have like pieces from a whole bunch of different boxes and you're trying to shove them all together, and it's like, no, that doesn't work, but nice try. Maybe start with an easier puzzle. Like, I'm sorry, that's no, you're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill here, and like it doesn't go deeper than anything. There's no conspiracy. There was no like teaming up to do anything or working with anybody to do anything. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming that comment that I had seen had said I'm working with somebody, meaning behind the scenes. But like, if you're going and trying to contact my coworkers, there's going to be some problems. If that's what you meant by that, which I'm assuming it's the YouTube thing, not you're saying that you want to go look into who I work with. Because if that happens, there's going to be some problems. Because how is that appropriate? Do I do that to you? No, I don't. I don't. In fact, I haven't said a lot of stuff. I haven't said any of the stuff, with the exception of the one thing that I said in my last one that started all of this. What have I really said? No, I've held on to it. I could say a lot. You she knows that. She knows that. But I also am considering other people in that, because if I was to show you, well, that's about somebody else that's here that probably doesn't know that they were talked about. So I would be weaponizing that and hurting somebody that has nothing to do with it. So I'm not going to do it. Or else I figure out, or else I'm being told by that person I can, in which case I'd be more than happy to show you. But I mean, good luck finding anything. Go ahead. Go ahead. So I talk about stuff behind the scenes with people I think are friends or my friends. Cool, cool story. You do the same damn thing. And and what's your point? Like it you don't have a point. Like, if you weren't guilty of doing all of that and more, then maybe you'd have a leg to stand on. But unfortunately for you, you've done some pretty fucked up shit. So calling me out, I don't really hold much value in that. I just don't. And you're not doing it because you give a shit about anybody else. You're doing it because you're trying to hurt me. So, whatever. And you knew this the whole time, but like, you still were friends with me, and supported me or whatever. So what does that say about you? You say the same thing about me, by the way. Is what I'm trying to say, is that we're all hypocrites. All of us. It's not like, hold on, I'm gonna have to mute in a second. Hold on a second, guys. Maybe I'm hearing things. Maybe I'm hearing things. I don't know. I don't think I am. I swear somebody just came in the house. It would make sense. This would be around the time that I would expect that. I'm not going to get up. But yeah, you know, we all just can do the best that we can. And I felt that I owed Dorothy an apology for how I behaved, because it was immature and it was stupid. Um, like I said, I was more hurt than anything else by what she had originally said about me in the first place, because that wasn't a topic that I wanted to bring to YouTube. Oh no, there's. Hold on, guys. I have to go do something really quickly. I'm sorry, guys. I had to take care of that. Like I said, I'm trying to be a better person to everybody in my life, and sometimes that takes the form of being more present. Um, I'm just trying to get my own stuff. I mean, I don't talk about it much, but what I was trying to say is that I hadn't brought that stuff, my past really, onto YouTube. And I hadn't even told my mods that. In fact, the only two people that I told about that were Jess and Dorothy. And it's not something I'm proud of. It's not something I want advertised. It's not something I want anybody to know about me. Um, because if you met me, you wouldn't know. But I've come a long way from who I was years and years ago. And I've made some major mistakes in my life, and I've made some terrible choices, and um I never want to go through that again, right? Like, so I do everything I can, but the point is that I know this probably sounds silly to a lot of people, but for me it was, when I came on here, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And like I said, my parents watch this stuff. So I know that to them, me coming on here and talking about my past is not a good look. You know what I mean? And also to the point where there's stuff about my life that they don't know. That's not one of them. They do know that, but like I'm talking about, not that, this is a completely different subject. But I'm like, certain things that I'll talk about because I was more or less estranged from them during that time in my life, and that was because for a lot of reasons, as I'm sure you can imagine. Um, because they did the whole tough love thing, and I was very angry about that. Which, in hindsight, I'm glad that they did that, and I understand why they did that, and it was the right thing to do. But I felt abandoned, and I felt unsupported, and it was hard for me. And I think my point is that I was hurt that I felt that I had to do damage control about my reputation, like I've had to a lot of my life. And when I came onto YouTube, it's like, here's a whole bunch of people who don't know me. They don't know that about me. And they never have to. And she, her I actually didn't even listen to the full clip. So this is my problem. I really probably should, because either way it's like whatever, but like, like either way I would have preferred that my name not be in any association with that kind of thing. Um because I'm very ashamed. And yeah, I don't really know what more to say about it. Um yeah. And my situation is a little, different than some other people's. I know everybody has their own path, right? I know that. And I know that I shouldn't beat myself up about the fact that like this is how my life is and this is something I need for my life to function. Like I don't I don't want to talk about it, but like sometimes I think it makes me weak. And sometimes I feel like I'm not I'm just like pretending to be doing well, when it's just substituted, I don't know. Um But that's just how I feel. But regardless, is that I hadn't even told my mods that. They didn't know that about me. And I would have preferred my name not be in any sort of association with that publicly, or else I wanted it to be. I didn't realize that she thought that it was because I was trying to get information to see if she took certain medications. That honestly, Dorothy, I know that you believe that, and I respect that you believe that, and I accept that you believe that, and that's fine, but that's not what was going on there. If you want to talk about that, and I can explain to you kind of where my thought process was there and why stuff kind of maybe came out the way that it did, I can, but I assure you it has very much to do with the fact that, like, it's not a topic that I talk about freely, and I always never know whether I'm telling too much or not, but regardless, I mean, you can believe what you want, it doesn't bother me either way. Um, the fact of the matter is that I came out and told everybody myself anyway, so, regardless of what you think the motive was or whatever, I really nobody sent me over to Dorothy's to do anything. I was over at Dorothy's because I enjoyed her channel. Um, and I have a video that I had recorded and did as a premiere, but because I didn't have any mods, I pulled it down 15 minutes into the premiere. And I never posted the full video, and I probably should, because it probably would make no sense to people now because, like, everything has changed so much. But Dorothy, I think you would understand more about what went on if I did post that, because I think you'd see how I don't know, maybe you wouldn't. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it at that though, because if that's what you believe, then that's what you believe, and I validate that. That's okay. Um, that is the least of my worries. But and I've wrote apologies to a few other people as well. Um, because the way I did that, Natasha Cooper was not one of them. No, I did not reach out to her. Uh, because in my opinion, she has done things wrong. Like, she's not somebody that I'm not making up the stuff that I say about Natasha Cooper or, like, speculating, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying I'm making stuff, but if I'm relaying information that somebody told me and I'm stating it as fact, that's a problem. Um, but if it's something I can see with my own eyes and it's pretty definitive what it is, then I'm going to talk about it. But with Dorothy, like, whatever went on with, like, when she had her medical emergency, regardless of what people have told me, they know, and where they got it from and whatever. Regardless of any of that, it's not my business. Regardless of what happened, she seems like she's doing really well now, and I respect that, and I think that's great. And I wish her nothing but the best. I wish her, a healthy new year and her family and everything. I have nothing against Dorothy. Like, do I wish things that hadn't happened? Or do I wish she hadn't said? But sure, but I'm sure she wishes I hadn't said things too. So, like, you can't like, it's not one sided here. Like, and I know some people are angry for me, but I'm a very forgiving person. And honestly, like, I am always self analyzing and trying to figure out. I hold myself to a very high standard, and I miss the mark often, but I try, and that's what matters. Sometimes I hold myself to an unrealistically high standard, honestly, and I think that that's probably where I go wrong and why I miss the mark. But I mean, I also make stupid choices to say stupid things that I shouldn't say, and going forward, I'm going to be very conscious about the fact that anything I say, even if it's in private, is probably going to get put on here in some way, shape, or form. Even though it was never my intention to bring it, but that doesn't matter because regardless, it hurts. I'm not going to justify it, but that's kind of where I'm at. Is that I kind of just wanted to start my own thing over. Like, I just wanted to get away from, like, a group of people that clearly didn't like me in the first place. I've seen so many screenshots of it, so many screenshots of all of you who, like, would say all this nice stuff and praise me for stuff, and now are saying the exact opposite. One of the funniest ones that I've seen is somebody who had said that they had liked my music before and now says I'm terrible. I'm like, oh, okay. I actually have both screenshots, and I'm going to upload that when I do my next round of uploads on this. And I'll show you. It's the same person. So what was it? So who's lying here? Because you're lying. Like, you're a liar as well. Like, you were either lying to me then or you're lying now. It's like, make it make sense, right? I'm either good at playing guitar or I'm not. I don't think I'm, like, fabulous, but I can play music. I can do it by ear. I've played since I was 10. I'm pretty musically inclined. I play sloppy, but, like, pretty good at it. Not complaining. I'm no Hendrix, that's for sure. But I also don't. I really need to get back into music and stuff because YouTube has just taken up too much of my thoughts, and it's like, I don't like that. So what I'm trying to do is kind of start over and do it from a place where this is like, you know, take it or leave it. Um, I don't want to be worried about what I say because it'll lose me support or lose me money. Um, because I mean, the harsh reality is that I don't make money on here anyway. So being concerned with that, it doesn't make sense. I had enough members to make an extra couple hundred over the summer. Um, but it's not like something that I'm gonna it, it's not gonna be a deal breaker. Like, a lot of people don't express themselves the way they want because they're afraid of losing support. And I was one of those people, and I'm not gonna do that anymore. Because I guarantee you that a lot of the people that have, turned their back on me, a lot of the people that suddenly have a whole lot of shit to say about me, a lot of those people will be back in a few months. Because the truth always comes out. The truth of who people are and how things work. And I know that it seems like I'm the big bad guy right now, but when you look at the big picture, I think it's pretty obvious that I'm not the problem here and that I made a mistake. And that's it. But I haven't done nearly as much shit as some of the people that they sit and support and say are wonderful. So I don't really take any value into anything that they say. How could I? Why would I care what you have to say when you literally don't hold the same standards to others? It doesn't work like that. Something's either wrong or it's not. And y'all act like everybody else on here hasn't done the same shit. Doesn't make it right that I did it. It's not right when anybody does it. But it happens. I'm not the one who brought it on here to recognize it. My intention was never to hurt somebody. That would be you. I'm not on here maliciously trying to tear people down. I'm just speaking my truth. And clearly, it is the truth, because you wouldn't have reacted like that otherwise, would you, Granny? But, I mean, people can believe what they want. People can believe what they want. Just know that she's going to do everything she can to try to discredit me, and that's fine. Go for it. Show the whole world. Show the whole world what a terrible, horrible person I am. I didn't know it was a secret that I, am not outraged about some stuff that other people are outraged about. Obviously, I can empathize with people that do feel outraged. I can be like, yeah, I'm so sorry that happened to you. When in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's not really that big a deal. Like, I don't give a fuck. But I'll empathize with you because I care about you as a person. So I'll be like, oh my God, that's so terrible. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That shouldn't have happened, because I care about you. But if it happened to me, I wouldn't really react that way. That's just me. We're all different people and have had different experiences and get triggered by different things. Like, it's just the way it is, right? Um, I'm not that kind of person. I don't get all up and outraged about stuff, but uh, I didn't know that was a secret either. I mean, I'm not always a nice person. Like, oh, I thought I had that meme uploaded. Damn it. I have some funny ones for you, though. I found a lawyer for Granny here. Just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. I'm like, I feel like that's like her sentiment all the time. It's like, yes, look, it's so obvious that I did it, but like, don't you dare hold me accountable. This person should represent you. This one's just funny. I always get a kick out of this one. I love this one. Why's my phone beeping? Wait. Why? Michelle, I'm recording this right now. It's a pre-recorded. Yes. Yes. I don't know. Maybe I'll go live. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I told you guys though, I am doing I'm doing its own video. I'm not going to do it live. The reason I didn't want to do these is because I get distracted. I have ADD. Like, if I see the chat, I will not be able to get my point across in a way that does this situation justice, and I owe that. So I do not want to have that distraction when I'm addressing it. As for the stuff I've addressed in here, you can already see I'm already all over the place. What else did I want to show? I like this meme here. You know, this is just like sums up my entire life growing up and everything. Darling, that's not proper attire. It's where I like to eat, Nana. Welcome to my upbringing. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, I think it's silly that, like, I'm not going to argue with people. I'm just not going to argue. It's not worth my time. It's certainly not worth people saying shit like this. For what? Go ahead. Contact my parents. Would you like it if I did it to somebody you supported? How about that, Wild Ponies? Would you like that? Would that be okay if I did that to somebody else that you support? I don't think so. I think you'd be pretty damn outraged, wouldn't you? But that's okay. I know how the morality and integrity works on here. Why are I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But yeah. Hold on. Oh, I found this. I was like, I wanted to do like a joke fund for this. Why don't you donate to a worthy cause, guys? Let's find a cure for stupid people. And then why don't we roll this at the bottom just so we can piss everybody off? I'm just kidding. It's the holiday season. Buy something nice for yourself or your child or a loved one. That's what people should be doing. Nobody owes me a damn thing. It's always appreciated, but I would much rather, go to something that you need if you need it. But it is there if you enjoy my content and you want to help me out, because it does help me out, obviously, and I hate even like mentioning it at all, but if I don't mention it, then I don't know. I don't ever call people. I'm not the one over here calling people. I call people out for being shady about things with that. Like, I'm not on here dry begging. I'm not on here. I've come on here with a legitimate fundraiser, where I showed receipts to anybody who asked. And I posted much of them. So I'm not really sure how I'm a grifter. I'm terrible at it. So I probably shouldn't be, right? Pretty bad at it. We all can't be good at it like, Starbuck. We can't all be Starbuck, the queen of grifting. Did I say that in my other video? Did I mention that in my other video? Did I mention how I felt about the fact that post that I saw that said, like, if you can't afford your pets, you shouldn't have them? Was that in a video or did I say that in the chat? Because I say whatever I want in chats now. Because I don't care. Screenshot whatever you want. Think whatever you want about me. You want to think I'm a horrible person while you sit next to horrible people? Like, okay. I mean, whatever you say. And you know who I was listening to earlier? And now I want to make it clear. There have been some things, that this person has said in the past that, wait, no, I wanted to keep that. About some certain topics, and I'm not going to go into which ones because it doesn't matter. That I'm not here for, I guess, in a way, but it's not that. Like I said, I respect people's freedom of speech. So if that's, it's just not something that I'm involved in. But I will say, and it was a creator that I actually wasn't familiar with because it was somebody that, was the enemy. And it turns out that, I actually really like their content. So, especially when it's done about things that I'm aware of the situation. Like this person, what I'm trying to say is that she does content that is about stuff that I'm not really involved in or familiar with. So I don't know what I'm trying to say. My brain doesn't work. I'm distracted. But I was listening to the Moon earlier, and oh my God, she has great commentary, guys. So I highly suggest, she did a one about Granny earlier that I did clip it. I was going to play it because it was like 5 seconds of something that I thought was great. But she is so right when she says that Granny needs a mirror for Christmas, because everything she says other people do is stuff that she has done. All of it. All of it. And most of it, and I'd say 90% of it is stuff that she's never even acknowledged or taken accountability for. You know? And a true apology to me isn't coming on and justifying stuff and saying, well, it's only because this person did this to me, whatever. No, you say, I did that, it was wrong, and I own it. End of story. Close curtains. That's an apology. But if you're not sorry for, whatever. I know for a fact between, because we've had conversations, Granny, that you don't think that what you did was wrong in some things, nor do really I think it was wrong either. But at the same time, it's like, you came on here projecting that you cared, and I know you don't, I do the same thing sometimes, is what you were trying to imply anyway, with what you were showing about what I don't even know what was said or showed, to be honest with you. I haven't even looked at it all. I'm confused about some of it. Some of it makes more sense now that some people have told me, like, after I found out I was in Gen X's live and she put a puzzle piece together for me. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now I know. Because I was like, what the fuck? Guys, I deleted my, never mind. But I do want to delete the clips off my phone. It's just taking up space. Or else it's funny. I will say Dorothy has said some funny things. Some stuff that I think even she can acknowledge is funny. And it's not like, it's just fun. Same with Natasha. They both can be quite funny. But when it comes to, and I'm talking about Natasha too, guys, with that stuff, it's not my business about certain things. If it's on YouTube and I think that it's inappropriate or it's whatever, I'm going to talk about it. Yes. But I'm also not going to be like, speculating about somebody's it just weird shit that doesn't matter. It is just, I can't think of an example for Natasha right now of something that would apply to that, but I know that there was something that had crossed my mind earlier. But Dorothy's a much better example of that. But I don't expect anything in return for apologizing. I had no idea she was going to share that because I didn't see her email until later. And yeah. So I apologize if I said something somewhere in a chat, which I probably did, after, that was going on or whatever, and I said that she was dragging me, because I know some people were like, what are you talking about? Like, I think I was lost her mind, because she absolutely wasn't. And that was because somebody decided to be a shit stirrer and email me and tell me that. For what? Like, I don't understand it. Like, I just had enough, and I didn't go look for myself. And then when I did, I felt pretty damn stupid. Because the last thing I'm telling you guys, they pushed me over the edge. Like, I was not in a good place. I'll let you know that. And then when I found out about Dorothy, I just lost it. I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, imagine weaponizing somebody's apology. And I'm like, I knew she was going to do that. And she didn't do it. So I don't know. You proved me wrong, Dorothy. You proved me wrong. Yeah. So, I don't know why people want, there's some people that just want to keep stuff going, and they just want, they don't want people to apologize. They don't want that. They just want this chaos. And I'm not apologizing because I want anything in return. I just needed to get that out there. I was fully prepared for her not to accept it whatsoever. But as long as I did that, and I, was able to, as long as I did it, then I could be at peace with myself. But I'll go into more detail about stuff at some point. But it's stuff that I really need to communicate well. So it's like kind of where my head was at that point, and why I was, what played into that behavior. But that's what I'm saying. I shouldn't have done it. Like, especially with her medical thing, that was none of my business. I'm really disappointed in myself. And I need to. I just need to do it. Not asking any of people that support me to support her, or vice versa. I mean, I get it. Like, a lot of people I like don't care for Dorothy, and I know a lot of her people don't like me. So, it is what it is. But there's no reason that we can't be humans to each other. And I did want to say that. And I was just really impressed with the two people that left those messages about how to administer Chicory's medicine. It meant a lot to me. Like, I was pretty shocked, actually. But what I want to say is that I don't necessarily judge anybody for, like, who they support. Um, Especially when who they support is if it's not has nothing to do with me or a friend of mine or somebody I'm close with anyway. Like at this point in time, if you support like Natasha, that's your that fine. It's a free country. Like you can support Natasha. It's not. I'm not going to judge you as a person for that. I mean, you can like whoever you want. Like I'm angry at Granny. I've been angry at Granny since she started this with me for no fucking reason. Um, Although I will say that, if there's any consolation to any of this, and it's the way I have to look at it, is that the fact that so many people showed up to these lives where I was being discussed for hours just shows that maybe I'm not as much of a nobody as y'all like to say I am. Just saying. Because I've been dragged in the past and nobody shows up. But that was not the case this time. So maybe I'm more important than you give me credit for. So I have to look at it with a silver lining, I guess. Just means that I'm somebody, I guess. But like I said, I'm not mad that it came out for my own sake. Most of it is lies. 99% of it is lies. But there is a 1% of it that I will take accountability for and own it. And it's going to be how it is. And it's going to get its own video because I'm not just going to say it. No, no, no. I mean, if this person is listening, I don't think they might not, but they'll know who they are if they are. I wasn't on my messenger. I turned off notifications on everything because I was getting a lot of just really stuff that I didn't need. Like, honestly, like when I'm in a place like that and people have been dragging me, and then you're going to say you're going to contact my family, and then there are people saying that I'm an embarrassment, then people saying that I'm like all this stuff, and I'm just like, you want to scream because it's like, okay, y'all are like really looking into something that doesn't exist. But I didn't see any messages until very recently, so me not responding has nothing to do with how I'm choosing to handle this, although I'm sure that's what it communicates. What I'm doing, I'm trying to catch up on what was said. I don't want to be ill-informed when I look at this because maybe there's more to it that I did do. I don't know, but from what I've seen, and I've seen most of it as far as I know, and there's only one thing out of all of that. There's only one thing I need to take accountability for. The rest of it is just fucking bullshit. But and I dare her to prove otherwise because she can't. She can't. She can't. You know? I'm not, like I said, I'm not angry for myself. I'm angry at the people that didn't do anything to deserve being in the spotlight, all because you wanted to hurt me. That's what I'm upset about. They didn't deserve that. They didn't deserve that. So that's what I'm upset about. At myself, but also at the fact that it was used to hurt me and weaponize, and if, without any concern for how that would impact the other people. Like, you haven't done the same damn thing. And there's a reason I haven't brought it up, and it was that, there are people mentioned in that, the people you're speculating about, don't deserve to have that put on here because I'm mad at you. So I'm not going to post it. Unless they tell me I can. In which case, perhaps I should reach out, shouldn't I? Maybe I should. But yeah, there's nothing else. I looked through everything myself. There's nothing else. Good luck. Good luck proving that I'm just like anybody else on here, except I'm not as bad. Good luck. Never claimed to be a saint. Perhaps many of you had a distorted image of me, but that's not what I was trying to I'm just myself. I don't think it should be a surprise to any of you given how I talk in chats. But I know anything to be outraged, I know. Give you something to talk about, right? Give you something to go on and rant and rave about. Was I mad to find out that, my information, but I did go look at I did go background search myself just because I was curious as to what would potentially be being passed around because I don't really have anything to hide, but at the same time, like, I don't want my family being, brought into, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want their information, um, because they're not part of this, so I don't know why it matters. So that was my fear. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be with the how many like the family it lists. It doesn't actually list that many people at all. In fact, most of the people that I associate with, I didn't see, or like would be associated with my name, weren't even in there. So I was like, okay, I guess that's good. But I'm like, oh, I see what they're trying to say here is that my legal address is my parents. Yeah, it is. I don't live with them though. Like I said, I assure you, over my mother's dead body, would we have a Christmas tree in my house? Not because she has anything against that, not because that. I was just using the phrase. I grew up in a Jewish family. Like, we're Jewish. Like, I was bat mitzvahed. I've been to Israel on a birthright trip. I mean, I went to a Hebrew day school until 4th grade. I mean, yeah, I was raised Jewish. But I choose in my personal life as an adult to celebrate Christmas. I don't practice as a Jew as an adult. I don't really practice as any religion. I believe in a higher power. But my relationship with that is it's complicated. And I've definitely like looked at different branches of it to kind of find what works for me and what aligns with how I see things or what could open my eyes. I mean, I'm not against religion at all. I think it's a very oh my god, I can't even think of the word. Oh my god. Because that's just going to drift off and it's going to sound like I'm going to say something bad. I'm not. No, I think that it serves, like, it can be real. I know it's important to people, and I respect that wholeheartedly. But we don't celebrate Christmas in my parents' house. That's just not how it works. It's Hanukkah. So there would not be a Christmas tree at my parents' house, and you will see that same pink carpet in pretty much all the pictures I post, and that's my house. And that's Traveler, by the way, guys. Is he very handsome in his bow and his Christmas jumper or sweater? I'm sorry, I did. UK folks, they know what I'm talking about. I'm calling it a jumper. I think that's cuter saying it that way anyway. But yeah, so like, I don't know. I hope people can like just understand that I'm human and that I make mistakes and I do things I regret and I say shit I shouldn't and I get carried away. And sometimes I think I'm trying to help and I'm not helping at all. I'm just making it worse, but I think I'm helping. Like, my intentions are good. The people who have talked to me privately, you know how I grapple with shit like this. I don't just come out here and just say shit. There's literally a whole like annoying thought process, and I go on and on and on about it. I know anybody who talks to me knows that, and they know that where I come from isn't in a malicious way. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. But whether it was meant to be hurtful or not, the way it all played out, it was hurtful. So then I'm gonna own it. I have to. But when it comes to some of that other stuff, like, I don't understand why people even believe what she said. I mean, she's been proven to be a liar so many times at this point that the fact that her people say that about me is just like, okay, and I don't get it. I don't get it. There are good people on all sides, so to speak, clearly. And for anybody that's over at any place, I don't judge you for that. I can be civil with you. We can be friends even. Like, we don't have to support the same people. In fact, I went a very long time with a very good someone who's a very good friend of mine in real life, supported Lycan for a long time while I was still supporting Granny. And you know what? We just didn't talk about either of them. But I respect that there are people, they support who they support. My intention is never to decrease their support. That might be their goal to do to me, but not everybody thinks like them, and that's just not who I am as a person. I don't like hurting people, but I end up doing it, and like I said, I just didn't like the stuff that I was doing, and I kind of just wanted to start this over and do my own thing and continue doing commentary on the bullshit that happens in this community. And right now that just happens to be about Granny. You know, fuck around and find out. You can keep going. I mean, whatever. I don't subscribe, so I don't see it. I'll put out all my messages my damn self. I don't even care. The only reason I care is because I don't want to hurt those other people that are, you know what I mean? Because I feel like that's not fair to them for that to be brought public when they're not even part of this equation, especially when it's something that's like from half a year ago. Like, is that the best? Don't even. Like, maybe I will reach out to those people and see if they're okay with me posting that. Because you guys should see. You should see. You should see. Because I think you'd maybe... I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I feel like a lot of these people would be like, well, that's fine. But if I was to have said something like that, it would have been a whole problem, right? Right? Okay. I've accepted that that's how YouTube works. And I've learned a lot in the past year. I posted my first video on New Year's Eve, and so it's been almost a year since I started a channel. And it's been a learning process, and I've certainly learned a lot. I've certainly learned about how, like, as a channel, you feel like you're supposed to address things, and if you know, that's where, you have to learn. And some people, when they find themselves in situations that they don't know how to handle, and clearly I made the wrong choice. So I don't really know what, that's what makes me laugh, though. It's like, you all can say whatever you want about me, but like, Granny's the one over there putting out people's personal messages left and right. So you can say whatever you want about me, but I think out of everybody, she's shown that, if you've ever said anything to her privately, I'd be afraid if I were you. She has no problem doing that. She's done it how many times? How many times? I can count on one hand the amount of times that I've done that, and I've never brought it to YouTube. It's just behind the scenes. And it's 3. All of which have now been said, or I've said myself, or whatever that was, and that's it. That's it. Actually, no, that's not true. It's only been 2. That's 2. Yeah, 2 people. I have only shared 2 people's personal messages, and they know exactly who they are. I have never sent anybody else's to anybody. I can say that with 100% fact. Yep. I don't know why I thought 3. It's definitely 2, though. It's definitely not 3. Because that's not really something that I do as like a first thought to do. Like, it's not like, oh, let me go do that. No, it's part of something bigger, and you need to understand the context of it. But it's whatever. I'm not even going to go into that here, because people can believe what they want. It doesn't bother me either way. You can think I'm a terrible person, you can think I suck, and you can think Jessica's the greatest person that exists. I'll probably laugh at you. Because that is just so... I have no words for that. But you do you. You do you. But I do want to give a shout out again to those 2 people. There was one from Natasha's community, and there was one from Granny's. And these are people that are very involved in those group, and they put their differences aside to help me, and it means the world to me, and I really appreciate it, and I am impressed. Like I had no words. I was like, uh, but it shows who they are at the core of their person. It does. And I may have had some opinions about one of them prior, but after that, I'm starting to think to myself that I might not be correct about that person. Because a person that is the way that I imagined would not have done something like that. So I think there's more to her than people give her credit for. Um, I will say that. And then, as for the one from Natasha's community, I think that they're just a kind person, period. Everything I've seen from them has just been kind. And neither one of them had to do that. Neither one of them had to help me at all. They didn't owe me a damn thing. But yeah. And for the record, Jilly Bear is not Michelle K. Two different people, I assure you. I don't know where that came from, but that's another great example of where, like, it's like, speculation's gone wild over there. But I guess I did just say it. Jilly Bear's a nice person. Clearly. And I can't say anything bad. Like, just because somebody supports somebody doesn't make them a bad person, and I shouldn't, judge somebody just for that. Because people support who they want. I supported Natasha for a while. And everybody, for people on here, I think it's a lot more about community than it is about the creator themselves. And I think people need to remember that. Is that you're not just denouncing a creator, and it's a whole vibe. It's a community, and it's what you're part of. And as somebody who goes hard for my friends myself, I can understand why others would go hard for their friends as well. And I recognize that. But yeah, Jilly Bear's never said anything to me that's been bad. Vice versa. I've never had an issue with Jilly Bear at all. Not even close. So, yeah. No, there's a couple Natasha people. Oh my god, I'm yawning like crazy. There are some Natasha. Oh my god, I didn't realize I was after 9. What the hell? There are some Natasha people that I don't care for, but most of them I don't know. So how can I judge somebody I don't know? I try not to be a judgmental person like that. And I can be sometimes, but I'm also a very forgiving person, and if you explain yourself to me and I understand where you're coming from, chances are I move on from things pretty fast. So, and if you're a subscriber, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to attack anybody. I don't want to do that. But I really did appreciate it, and it meant a lot to me that they would do that. Jilly Bear is just a very kind person, and I don't know if I didn't mean to say her name out loud. I did, but that's for the other one. She knows who she is, and I don't know if she cares if I say her name or not. But I really appreciate her doing that, because I know that she definitely didn't have to do that at all. And I'm not gonna lie, if I said that my jaw didn't drop when I saw the notification that they had commented, because it certainly did. And at first I thought that, like, I had, it was something mean, but I read it. I'm like, no, this is actually really helpful information. Oh my God. So some people on here like to pretend that they're terrible people, I think, and don't let them fool you. You should never just judge a book by their cover. I mean, especially when it's just stuff on YouTube, but I guess I do it too. So I don't know. I've just been learning a lot, and I'm trying to get to something for this channel. Oh my God, I'm so tired. Ooh. That's just authentically me. And if you're down with it, great. If not, then that's cool too. But I hope people can forgive me if I've done something that's hurtful. Just know that my intention was never to hurt you. Especially who I'm really talking to is people that have never done anything to me. And there are a few of those. As for the people that have done things to me, I'm still sorry if I crossed any boundaries. But, you know, I've apologized where I needed to with that. As for going forward with like, my filter is off at this point. I tried to do this one a little bit respectfully, and I'm not going to rant and rave, but you can be damn sure that in the very near future, I will come on and I have quite a bit to say. Quite a bit to say. Because, you know, there are some people here that people think are bad people that aren't, but there are some there are people out here that people say are bad people that I think they've got. I don't understand people that purposely try to harm others. I usually end up hurting people, but not because I'm coming from a malicious place, but because I'm stupid and impulsive. And I'm going to embarrass myself by saying it, so I don't really want to, but I'll say it in the other video. I'll be raw with you guys. Like, you want to know what makes me tick? You want to know what my biggest struggle is socially? I'll let you know in my next video. And you can laugh at it if you want. Or you can listen and you can understand that there's a reason behind why I feel the way that I do in that way, and it's led me to do things that I know better than to do. But I think it comes down to just being a very like loyal person in like a way that if you've told me you've been hurt, or if you're asking me, if you're somebody that I want to be friends with, and like, never mind. I don't want to go into it because you guys need to know the big picture to understand it, and I will be explaining all of that in my next video. Or I'll do it live. I don't know. I just don't. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I don't want to be distracted when I talk about stuff. And there are people that'll purposely come into your chat to try to like derail it, and they know that I have ADD, and like, I know I have mods though, so like my mods can monitor the chat so I don't even have to look at it. But I don't like people feeling like I'm ignoring them either, because I'm not. It's that sometimes to get my point across, I can't be looking at the chat, or I'll be like, my brain just can't do it. But yeah, I'm gonna end this. I didn't realize it was that long. I apologize for the long pause in the middle. I did have to deal with something that I needed to handle. And yeah, because family comes first, and I need to. Yeah, I'm working on a lot of stuff in my personal life. And yeah, so make sure to. Why is my nose stuffy? Make sure to hit that thumbs up, and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. Consider subscribing to my channel. I want to start going live more. I have enough mods to do it now, so expect that going forward. Just know that I really like the community that I've kind of gotten to know over the past few months, and I am so grateful that you guys welcomed me, despite the fact that I have said some pretty terrible stuff about some of you. Because Lord knows is that I'm just looking for a place that I can belong and feel like I have a sense of community. That's what I'm looking for on here, first and foremostly. And if I'm not wanted somewhere, and don't worry, it was very clear that I was unwanted. You know, I love like I said, I love all these comments. I never liked her in the first place. I thought her music sucked. But I have a comment of you saying that you thought I was actually really talented. So, like, which was it? I'm confused. You know, that's like one of that you're disingenuous. So don't call anybody else out for anything when you do shit like that. You have no grounds. And that's what I have to remind myself, is that the people who are calling me out have no fucking grounds. Okay? And if you weren't guilty, you know, the only thing that would bother me is if somebody who has never done stuff that's bad on here called me out, then fine. Maybe you'd put me in my place. But you're 1,000 times worse than I could ever be. You've done really shitty things on here. You fucked people over. You're friend to nobody. And you know, I guess you'd have to make everybody else be the monster, right? And if that's who I am and that's who I need to be in this community for right now, then fine. You know, that's what I always said in like high school, you know, call me a freak, I'll give you one hell of a freak show. Regardless though, me at my worst would be nothing like some of the people on here. I'm not capable of that. I have no desire to it either. Like, you know, I'm gonna go in. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna end this here. I'm gonna go hop into some chats. See what's going on. But I gotta go take my dogs out. I gotta figure out what I'm eating and all that good stuff. So I will see you guys very, very soon. Hopefully this enlightened you in some way. So yeah. Yeah. Once I get all this off my chest though, I mean I think it's time to I think it's time to take the training wheels off, guys. You know what? Fuck it. You'll see. I have a surprise for you on my next live here. I have a surprise for you all. Because, yep, that's right. Yep, that's how we're living now. I don't owe shit to people who never did shit for me. That's right. All right. We're going to end on that note. All right. I hope everybody has a great night. And I will see you guys very, very, very soon. And I appreciate each and every one of you who has stuck by me, who has been empathetic to me, who has been supportive of me, who has made me feel like I do belong here and that I'm welcomed here. You guys have no idea how much that meant to me. You have no idea how at that moment in time, that is what I needed. And I'll play forward. You know, I always have. I really don't. And, you know, I always try to be a good person, but I fail at it sometimes. And sometimes I'm not a good person. Sometimes I do some pretty crappy things. And I wish I didn't, but I do. And all you can do is after that is you can learn that for the next go around and not do it again. But it doesn't fix that it happened. But I'm going to end this. I got to go. It's cold in here. I'm going to go put on my pajamas and whatnot. And I hope everybody has a great night.